Hey there, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the Reds of Steel City podcast. Today, I am joined by Steve. How are you, mate?
Good. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. And we are also joined by the birthday boy himself, Ray. How are you, mate?
Hello, boys. How you doing?
No, very good, mate. A big happy birthday from all the Reds
Thank you
out
very
there.
much. Yes,
Yeah, happy birthday, Ray.
Yeah, thank you.
Did Klopp send you a birthday message this morning?
He did, mate. Yeah, he did. I got a big hug. I wish I got a big hug. Wouldn't you love one? Wouldn't you just love one?
Oh, you know what? I would. That's all I want for my birthday now.
Yeah.
That's it. Christmas is before my birthday, so I can hope for Christmas. All you want for Christmas is a hug off Klopp.
Yeah.
I think there's a song somewhere in there.
All you want for Christmas? No, anyway, I won't sing.
We'll get a few more beers in here and you can start.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we do not have Ben or Julian with us tonight, but we will move on and carry on without them.
Does that mean we don't have to talk about Birmingham?
100%. How good's it going to be?
Oh my God! Thank God.
I know.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
No championship talk.
Big shout out to Aston Villa, by the way, for doing us a massive favour this morning.
How good is that?
How good is the Villa?
The Villa.
Who'd be a Birmingham fan over Villa when they're doing that?
We're going to get slaughtered next week when you're back on. I can't wait.
I'll look forward to it.
Let's rip in, lads.
Yep, let's rip in. We'll obviously talk a little bit about the Chelsea Liverpool Super Cup, the Southampton game, and obviously the player profile, and obviously the upcoming game against Arsenal. So, we may as well start off with the Super Cup. I wouldn't exactly call it a super game, but your thoughts, guys? Steve?
Yeah, well...
Sorry. I was waiting for you, Steve. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. I'm the man of many words.
You normally start and then I'll correct you.
I normally lead it, eh? Yeah. Well, look, I guess it didn't match any of our predictions, really. We thought with how Chelsea played against United that if they didn't fix their deficiencies, we would have probably walked the floor with them. Look, I think we played well in spells and in others probably not. And, I guess we're almost made to pay. But penalty shootout, well, happy days. And we walk away with another trophy. So, look, there's a lot to be said for. We seem to be a bit fragile in defence lately, and it's a little bit worrying how we're playing a little bit higher up, and just giving a little bit more space away. And again, I called it back after the Community Shield game with how City exploited us in the first half, and it was worrying. And again, we're starting to see opportunities opening up. We got away with it against Norwich, but Norwich's goal against us a few weeks ago, same sort of thing. It's really the high line we're playing is I guess a little bit dangerous, and we're relying a little bit too much on our pace, which gets us which saves us because there are moments there where we play the high line and our players are quick enough to get back into defensive positions and happy days. Yep. But there were a few moments, especially that right hand side is probably the weakest side. I guess the Trent Alexander-Arnold and whoever's playing centre back. It seems to be a little bit stronger when Matip is playing. I think Matip's just got a better, I guess, understanding with Trent in terms of positioning. Whereas Gomez, it's sort of a little bit, I'm not going to say haphazard, but it's still a little bit fresh, and there still needs to be a level of, I think they need more time together to work out how to play. Look, I think, and again, no bash on Trent, but his years of playing, in the midfield and as more of an attacker, we've always said it. When he comes and play, he plays right back and he does great. But he does tend to sit a little too far forward. Tends not to, tends not to come back and defend or relies a little bit on his pace and sometimes can get caught.
Yep.
And again, there were a few moments there that just looked a little, again, there was openings there, and
yep.
I guess looking towards the future with pace like we could be facing this weekend with Aubameyang, Pepe, and Lacazette, it is worrying.
Yeah, look, before Ray gets into it, obviously just look at the stats. Obviously, it was pretty smack bang even. The shots were 20-21. Possession, we favoured them by 4%. Passing was only like 30 difference. Passing accuracy was exactly the same. I think the biggest thing was obviously their offsides. We only got 2 offsides, and then obviously to their 10, so that was a big difference there. Obviously, Ray, we all watched it. We all knew that. I think the question I've got for you, mate, is Sadio Mane. Obviously, we knew coming in. We didn't exactly know how fit he was going to be. Obviously, virtually not really getting much of a break in the supposed off season. What did you think, mate? Obviously, he scored the double for us.
Yeah, Mane. I think he said himself that fatigue or tiredness is just a mentality thing, and he seems super fit. Like there's a breaking point for most players or a lot of players, but he just seems to go above and beyond every time. But he said himself, it's just a mentality thing. If you think you're tired, if you think you can't do it, you can't do it. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but
yeah,
he's just a gun, and we do miss him. I think Firmino, out of the front three, Firmino is probably our biggest miss.
Yep.
But it's slowly starting to turn to look like Mane. He's just anyone in the front three really, but Mane is just slowly showing how good he is, and if he's not there, then we're missing a big. Origi's done a lot for us in the last year or so. But he's no Mane.
No, and I think Mane is now starting to really show his what's the word I'm looking for? His consistency. I think you look more to us, let's say, the beginning of the last season where consistency, it was kind of Mane would do something, you're like, why would you do that? Why would you not do this? His decision making and his all-round football IQ has definitely improved and developed over the last 12 months, and he was a big asset. I think the biggest thing looking at this Chelsea-Liverpool game, the biggest discussion was, is Klopp going to do a big rotation or is he going to stick with a strong starting 11? And he went with a rotation, and he made some big changes.
That's exactly what I was going to say to you guys. Obviously, Oxlade played up front, and obviously, while we're on Oxlade, congratulations to him for signing
new contract,
and that. Obviously,
and that came out of nowhere too.
100%. Obviously, it's good to see that obviously he doesn't want to go anywhere, and obviously Klopp and all that have got plans for him. You know what I mean? But what did you think? I don't think he done too bad. Again, I still think he's a little underdone. I don't think he's
correct. That's what I was just about to say. I was just about to say that there's still a level of match fitness that's not there, and he still just looked a little fresh. And let's look. He played. He played on the wing for Arsenal and up top in a front position for most of his career, but he's wanted to definitely get more into a central role, more as a number 10 or even possibly as a number 8. And that was his whole reason for coming to Liverpool. So he was asked to do something he's done before, but
even Klopp after the game said he stitched him up.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was a very trial and error thing. It's okay, let's see if this works. And it's probably a game you can take that risk in, because if we lost it, it's again very similar to the Community Shield. If we lost it, well, it doesn't really matter.
No.
It's a glorified trophy, even though this one counts. It goes up on our wall in Melwood, so that's great. But it's still one of those ones that if you don't win it, it's not the end of the world. It's not like losing the Champions League or an FA Cup. But it's always nice to win. And look, again, we had even the defensive line, Matip and Gomez. Gomez looked a little bit out of sorts playing on the right. And I've had some concerns with him playing there. He can do a job there. He's not as proficient going forward as Trent. And defensively, he's still probably a little bit. You can tell he's a little. It's like when Jamie Carragher used to play at right back. You could just tell it wasn't his preferred spot. And positioning wise, he was sometimes caught a little bit out on that side as well. And then again, back to the high line. It's a different defensive style.
Well, going back to a point you said earlier, Steve, when we play the high line, which I think they're doing for a specific reason with the new with VAR coming in and the new, everything's going to be caught on VAR.
Yeah, but I think it's a very interesting take.
But do you not think with Gomez, I mean, Matip on his day, he's proved himself towards the end of the last season. Yep. But with Gomez, if we're playing that high line with pace, Gomez he'll be able to recover better than Matip.
Okay, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
And it's great to rely on.
I'm not dissing Matip at all.
Oh no, it's not even that. It's
right
when you have to rely on pace.
Yeah.
Look, what was the famous quote Paolo Maldini used to say? If I have to make a tackle, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
So to me, it's all about positioning.
But they didn't have VAR at the time. You know what I mean? Now
it doesn't.
Now you've
got
VAR. It does matter.
Yeah. I see what you mean. But you shouldn't be.
I don't think we should rely. I agree. But I think we're trying to be. I think Liverpool are maybe trying to be clever and thinking.
And it's great.
Higher.
Look, and of course,
because then we push the forwards and the midfields forward.
Correct. I think.
So
it's not a bad idea.
At the moment, like we've let in more goals than we probably would have liked.
Yeah. Well, how many goals?
Maybe it's not working 100%, but obviously Klopp will tweak it.
I think
staff.
Where it's going to hurt us is, again, I don't mind if we play. Look, I don't care if we concede. Okay, football's it's a game where 11 players.
We concede 2 and we'll score 3. It doesn't matter.
It'll be a little bit back to the nervy days, but in the end, I don't care if we win 4-1. Like when we beat Norwich and Norwich scored the 1 goal, I wasn't too upset.
No.
It was a good goal. Where it's going to be concerning and where I hope we'll see a change is when we come against bigger teams.
If we'd have played Man City last week, we'd have got back.
Like if we play a high line, let's say this weekend against Arsenal, and we play that and we leave the space and we give the opportunity where Trent goes, oh, you know what, I can catch him. I should be able to catch him. I'll be okay. I can give myself an extra.
But that's where he might play Gomez because Trent.
Yeah, that's true.
Next to Van Dijk, so he'll play Gomez. So that if Trent's caught further up, Gomez will have the pace to come back Plus, it could work, but he may not play the high line knowing who he's playing. Like he might have just done that.
Yeah, look, he might have done it against these teams because he knows he can get away.
Yeah, if he plays it tonight and it doesn't work, then we could be punished.
That's right, and that's the only concern. And when you rely on pace, it's never good. I remember a game. I can't remember the team, and I can't even remember who was manager at the time. Either Klopp had just taken over, or Brendan Rodgers was still in charge, and there was a corner, and Jordan Ibe played, and Jordan Ibe let his player away from him, and he ran towards the corner taker, whoever he was marking. Yeah. Jordan Ibe thought, I've got the pace, I won't go with him. When he gets the ball, I'll sprint at him. He sprinted at him. The player kicked the ball in, and we conceded a goal.
Yeah, right.
And I remember that. And and I always come back when we talk about pace and players thinking they've got the pace. You just can be punished, and it's worrying.
Oh yeah.
Positioning over speed. And that's probably the only thing I take away.
Yeah. Look, obviously, I think the only pretty much dissected that is. I think, as I said, we've all spoken about Matip and Gomez in the back line. The fact that they played 120 minutes and Klopp didn't go to the back line other than obviously subbing out Robinson. I think it was. Well, I don't know what you'd say. It gave me a little bit more faith that Matip and Gomez have got the quality. Obviously, if Klopp's, Klopp.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When you get that extra sub, obviously, in the coming into extra time, so you've got another sub you can use. So if you really want to, if he really wanted to, he could have changed something.
In saying that, who else was on the bench? You're looking. Trent already came on. The only other defender you're bringing on is Hoover, which it probably just wasn't even worth bringing him on.
No, look, 100%. There wasn't much in the back line.
And look, for us to go to 120 minutes, it was really when Frank Lampard turns around the clock towards the 90 minute. I think it was before they had scored the equaliser. And he goes, so when do you guys play? Like, no one was really looking forward for it to go to extra time. No one really wanted it. And, they got a lucky penalty. You watch it from some angles and it looks like there's clear contact. And then from others, it's...
Apparently they didn't have the angle that they needed.
Yeah, so look, I didn't think it was a penalty. When I first saw it, I kind of went, yes. And then secondly, I went... I watched it from a couple of different angles and I went, no, that's probably not right. And then, a penalty is what it is. And they scored, pushed us extra time. And then penalty shootouts was thrilling. And happy days. Adrian becomes a saviour.
What a legend. What a legend.
Hey, I think I said it. This is where legends are born.
Exactly right. So... on that note, we'll segue into obviously someone who did play the whole game, and pretty fair to say he was definitely one of the best players on the pitch by far, I think. We'll talk about Fabinho's season last year, and obviously, what he's brought to the team in the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Your thoughts, obviously, out of 10 last season's performance, guys?
Look, I'd probably give him an 8. Look, he definitely. You know what? I'll give him an 8. And here's my breakdown. I guess it was with him coming into the team and then stamping place. It was a little bit. I'm going to say sketchy at first, but that was always going to be the case. Coming from France, which is a much slower league and a little bit of an easier league, there was definitely a step up. And then when you play under Klopp, it's a completely different task and a different fitness level you need. So it was always going to be an adjustment period. However, once he found his feet, I think he started to fly. And because of him, we got the resurgence of Jordan Henderson. Yes. And that was probably those two playing in midfield. I guess when we first bought Fabinho, I think half the media was talking about, all right, Jordan Henderson's out of the squad. It's going to be probably Fabinho, Naby Keita, and Wijnaldum. But then for most of the season, it was really a battle of who's the best three to play in midfield. And then putting Henderson forward basically gave him that resurgence of form that we haven't seen since we've came runners up back under Brendan Rodgers. And Fabinho just protected that back line. And then he was a player that we could really plug anywhere. He could go play. I think he played a few games at centre back, and if we needed to, he could play right back. And being in that defensive role, if Trent got too far forward, he could come in and cover on that right hand side if need be. And playing as that number 6 sort of role and a real sweeper was great. And the way he handled Messi in the second leg of the semi-final. Even in the first leg, he was giving Messi a rough night, even though Barcelona won. But then when they came to Anfield, it was all over. He had Messi in his pocket, basically, and couldn't do anything, which is pretty commendable because how many players they've done that to the best? They've nullified the best player in the world. Not many.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, obviously, I think you said it as well. You touched on Henderson. I think that I was saying to Ben halfway through last season, I think we were having a chat about it when he was sort of, he wasn't 100% where he is now. But I think if anyone is more excited or more happy to have him on his side, I think it is Jordan Henderson. Yep. Because I think Fabinho will single-handedly give Jordan Henderson, I reckon, at least a couple more years if he stays there as a player, because he takes so much so much
pressure.
of a toll off Henderson to do things that obviously he's had to do in the past few years.
Yeah,
so
it's a trust factor,
and that's it.
He trusts the man behind him to sweep up, whereas Jordan Henderson was asked to play in a position he wasn't too comfortable. But he said, "I'm a team player. I'll take the team," and he was very safe. Everyone had the quabbles of he doesn't pass forward enough. He doesn't really. He just side to side or back centre backs because it was safe. He wasn't going to put the team under any pressure that he needed to.
Yeah.
Whereas Fabinho is much more to get it from the centre back, turn and then play it forward. Where Henderson went, I can play it back. I can bring the pressure onto me, play it to the centre back, and the centre back can then create the play.
Yep.
Whereas now it gives Henderson the license to go do what he that 8 role and play that box to box midfielder, which he's been known for. And then you're right, Fabinho that great. But then even Fabinho will get the ball in the as well, and then they sort of swap roles. So I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So obviously he signed from Monaco for roughly 40 million pounds. I believe it was a long-term contract as well. So I think it was about 3 to 4 years at least, which I think is good. Obviously, 25 years of age. It'll see him getting close to 30. So I think honestly the best of him's yet to come. I think probably this year and maybe next season, I think he's going to really open up his straps and obviously, hopefully bang a few more away because he's only got the one at this point.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I think I'm with you. I think I'd give him about an 8 out of 10. I was tossing up between a 7 and an 8 only because obviously the front half of his season was, I wouldn't say poor, but it was just, not. I even Klopp, I'm sure, was sort of going, shit, this is not what I was expecting when I bought him. This is not what I really bought.
I don't know. I think that's why he didn't drop him into the team straight away, if you know what I mean. We all sort of went, when's Fabinho going to play? Klopp knew. I think Klopp knew from watching him train. He goes, I know I've got something here, but it's going to require time and patience. Yeah. And again, that was very similar with Naby Keita.
True.
He got these 2 players and he knew, because we were all sort of going, when are they going to play? When are we going to see them together? And it was a real, process. But to see, what Fabinho, really the addition of Fabinho, Virgil and Alisson, what that did to our spine. When we talk about spines, and Gerard was famous to talk about spines, like he would talk about the spine he had, in the runners up to Manchester United. That spine, he had Carragher, Daniel Agger in the back, Kim, Mascherano and Alonso, and Fernando Torres up top. It was a real strong spine for Liverpool, and I think we've definitely found that now with a great goalkeeper, a great centre back, a great defensive midfielder, and then of course the front 3 that we've got as well, and even the other midfield players. It's a real solid.
Yeah, 100%. Ray, mate, anything to add?
No, sorry, mate. No, I was just listening to Steve there. No, I was going to talk on the spine of the team, and he pretty much cleaned it up at the end there.
Sorry, Ray.
No, that's all right.
Once again, took the words.
As he said,
look, I can't help it.
That's all right. As he said, it takes with Klopp. He seems to sort of he waits to put a player into his team, and he doesn't rush him in. If they're not ready, they're not ready. So with Fabinho, take him a while.
Yeah,
and Henderson suffered there for a bit. And I don't get this. Henderson went in and said, "Look, do you need to play me up front, or play me in this different position?" Klopp knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And I don't believe Henderson's that. Henderson's the biggest team player out of everyone.
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's it.
So the spine, and we've got the spine now. I do think next year he's got big plans for, without going too far into it, but.
Hashtag Mbappe 2020.
Yeah. To work, like we've got the spine, so now we need to work around that. And Oxlade-Chamberlain, he obviously sees something in him to sign him up again for the 5 years. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's going to be interesting. As I think I've said as well, and I think everyone's sort of touching on it. Like the end of this season is going to be a very very interesting one to see who stays and who doesn't. Obviously, Milner's virtually out of contract, and then obviously Shaqiri's and ahhing, and obviously I feel for the bloke. Obviously,
I don't know why.
I do.
I don't know what's going on there. Like obviously,
it's an attitude thing.
Well, I don't know. Well, it must be an attitude thing, but would Shaqiri maybe wants to sort of fight for his place? But if he was that bad of a bad influence, then Klopp would have just shipped him off straight away.
Yeah, that's right.
There must be something there.
Yeah,
but why? I think defensively, without again going too far into it, Shaqiri defensively is not good enough for what Klopp wants because he likes.
No, he's a little bit lazy, and I think that's again it comes back to a little bit of attitude, and not in a bad sense. But look, wherever Shaqiri's gone, he's never really left a club in terms of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He left Bayern Munich. He got too big for his boots there. He was meant to be the Iron Robin, Frank Ribéry replacement. And he couldn't wait for his turn, so he got shipped off. He went into Milan, didn't stay there too long. And then went to Stoke City and kind of bounced around, and then ended up at us. He came on and did some great things for us last season.
He could win us the League Cup and the FA Cup. He'll be a cup guy.
Yeah,
along with a couple others. So he could win us them.
I've always thought that if we play front three, he's no good to us. I always see him as if we play two up front, he's the one who sits as an attacking midfielder just behind the two up front and in front of Fabinho or something like that. Yep. I think, but for him to get on, it's going to take your Mo Salah or your Bobby and even now Origi and that starting to come in as well, which is obviously doing good things as well. It's going to be hard for him to break in.
I agree. Look, I see Klopp playing start out of position before he puts Shaqiri on.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, and that's what I mean by I do feel sorry for him because for what we have seen of him is we have seen brilliant class. Like the goals speak for themselves.
And he's still got that, and I think that's probably part of the reason why he's still around. He's got a touch of class and a touch of quality there that he can produce some magic.
And that's
You know what? He could be the guy that scores the winner in the next.
He's the next Origi.
He's the next Origi.
He's who Klopp brought in to friggin' do what Origi's been doing.
That's right. And you know what? I agree with it.
Origi's peaked a little bit too early for Shaqiri's liking.
I think so. Getting back to Fabinho.
Anyway. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Ray, did you have a season?
Oh, sorry, you cut out there.
Did you have a season rating for Fabinho?
For last year, you put him at an 8. I'm going to put him at a 7.
Okay.
And that's not his fault. I think that's due to Klopp not playing him as often.
Yep.
But I'll put him in a 7. But this year, so far, an 8.
Yep.
He took a while to get going, but he'll.
Yeah.
He's making up for it. He's making up for it. Obviously, the latter half of the season, and obviously coming into this one. So
this year, I think he'll play, and Henderson playing up a bit further forward. Fabinho's made for that spot now. So
that's right.
Yeah, I think he'll just go on and on and on.
Yep. What was I going to say? Yeah, obviously we'll move on. And we'll move into the Liverpool versus Southampton game. 2-1 result against our B-side. So,
yes.
And we saw an ex-Liverpool player score again.
Oh my god!
He should have scored 2. But anyway,
unbelievable. So obviously it was an interesting lineup for me. I was obviously Matip got the nod. So obviously you got Trent in the back line, Matip, Van Dijk, Robinson at the back, which not much different, but obviously Matip playing the full 90 again. He didn't have a bad game. He done okay, I'll say. obviously then you've got Wijnaldum, Oxlade, and Milner in the middle. Then Mane, Firmino, and Salah up front. What do you guys take out of that other than a scrappy performance? Something that
it was scrappy, and I think it goes back.
There's a reason, though.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what me and Ray were talking about before, about the spine, and the spine was a little bit different. Look, you've got Wijnaldum and Milner, who could both do a job at that number 6 as that holding midfielder.
Caveat that the Chelsea game was 3 days ago.
Yeah, and that's right. We also played a game midweek.
120 minutes.
120 minutes, so it was always going to be a little bit tiresome. Probably not our best performance. And I think we all agreed on that last time, depending on what the rotation was going to be. In the last podcast, we sort of all said, depending on what happens, is Southampton the game that's going to be a little bit rougher to get through because it might be a little bit more forgotten, or at least more looked as secondary. However, we still won. So Mane, what a goal. Mane,
was anyone else thinking when he's thinking and everyone's going, don't shoot?
No, I was saying shoot.
Were you saying shoot?
Shoot.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, because you know what? Out of anyone in that position on our team who want to be shooting, probably
that's
Mane.
true. That's true.
If anyone's going to shoot, Mane. If it was Salah, I would say pass. You know my disdain for Salah at the minute with his decision making.
Saying that,
Mane.
On a slight tangent, Salah against Norwich, he just wanted to shoot.
Correct.
And then I think in this game he was trying to pass, and then people are going shoot.
Yeah, I think again it all comes down, and Klopp said this many times before, where he said, especially last season. Now we're diverging just a little bit, but last season when we hit a few runs of draws. Klopp just said, the decision making in the final third just wasn't there when we shot when we should have passed, and we passed when we should shoot.
Yep.
And there's always fine lines. It's, do I pass? If that pass goes through and he scores, happy days. But if I shoot and I score, well, I'm the hero. So, you've got a split second to make a decision. So it is always being very high technical. But Mane's goal, my God, that was thank you. And you know what? His play with Bobby again. Yeah. Beautiful. So, and Bobby, Bobby showed his importance there, and Bobby's finish was great too. So, overall, that was great. Danny Ings, I guess it was what it was. Congratulations to Danny Ings. I always had a soft spot for him.
Me too, yeah.
I always wanted him to do well at Liverpool, and he really wanted to fight for his place, but he just got injured. But I think he's a boyhood Southampton fan anyway. So, he's at the club he supported as a kid. So, power to him, and I wish him all the best. And hopefully, he keeps scoring against everyone else and not us.
Man City, score a hat trick against Man City.
Please do.
Well, obviously, he didn't start the game, so yeah. Look, I don't know. He was when he came to the club. I just never really thought he was going to make it. I don't know. It's just something I always thought of it. But yeah, you can't knock him. He's always been that bloke. No matter what club he's been at, and obviously goals I've seen, he's always where he needs to be. That's just the big thing. You know what I mean? He is a poacher. I've always said he reminds me a little bit of Wayne Rooney. He's where he needs. He's where he needs to be. You know what I mean? Like he just floats and he rocks up.
Yeah, positionally wise.
Yeah, and I'm sure Adrian was thinking the same thing. Are you serious? Like,
yeah.
Why were you there?
Look, it's the curse of the Liverpool goalkeeper.
100%.
And look, again, mistakes happen. These guys are professional footballers. People make mistakes.
Yeah, Alisson did the same thing last year.
That's right. You know what? Go put a set of gloves on, and I challenge any Liverpool fan out who wants to slaughter Adrian. Go put a set of gloves on. Go make it for Liverpool. Go start a game for Liverpool, and then not concede a goal. Go for it.
Yeah, I think the only other thing before we segue out of this one is, I think after watching that game and obviously watching the previous couple of games we've had, for me the back line isn't as strong as I feel as what it was last year. And I don't know
Bring Lovren back.
Yeah. I don't exactly know what that is, and I'm not saying it's weak or anything like that, but it seems to me that the shots on target and shots in comparison to ours are always similar. This game, for example, was, they had 14 shots, we had 15. They had 3 shots on target, we had 6. You know what I mean? But teams are getting through the midfield, and they're not stupid. Obviously,
No.
I mean, they've watched Van Dijk, and obviously virtually no one gets past him. So got to hit the ball outside the box.
It's interesting. It's interesting, and I go back to saw an interesting stat. I'll try to find it so we can get it up on the Facebook feed. Post it in the comments. It was a percentage of where Liverpool's defense was getting attacked, and it was that right-hand side.
Yeah,
it was that right-hand side.
Yep.
They target that side because that's the left-hand side with Robertson, and Van Dijk is as solid as ever. It's probably the strongest left-hand side we've had in years. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you. And again, it's not a knock on, Trent Alexander-Arnold or Gomez, whoever plays there. It's just slightly weaker.
But is it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Does the stat? Is it dependent on whether Matip's there or Gomez is there, or is it just on the right side?
It's just this season. It's a percentage of this season.
Right.
So it doesn't really. And again, we've had a bit of a disjointed. I think it includes the Super Cup as well. So it's Norwich, Super Cup, Southampton. So 3 games. Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. You wouldn't go down Van Dijk's side, would you?
No, because you're not getting past him. He hasn't been past in 65 games. So you're not dribbling past him. Yeah. And you're really not dribbling past Robertson either, because defensively he's very, very solid.
Yeah.
Whereas that right-hand side, positionally, and there was a moment, and again, we're looking at a completely different game here, but like at the Norwich game, there was a moment, and it didn't lead to a goal, led to a shot where Trent was sitting further forward, and there was a player that he didn't even know was there off his shoulder, about, let's say, 10, maybe 15 metres away from him. You see the ball through. You see the moment he sees that, Trent puts the afterburners on, gets in front of the play, and then there's a shot. Keeper saves it. Adrian saved it, and out. It wasn't, he put it on target really because he had to put it on Trent. Target was small, but those moments there where people are finding space. Again, it's all about how people are finding space against us. And again, City probably showed us in our first game, the Community Shield, how to find space against us. Yep. And I think teams are probably just working out how to play against us. It happens. So we just got to get smarter with the defensive line and the positioning. And it's more awareness, really. Just awareness. Just being aware of your surroundings, aware of what it is. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. No.
If we... Yeah. I think that's all, as you say, the defensive line. If we play a high line tonight, I'll be very surprised.
Yep.
I think we might just sit a little bit back.
Yeah, I think
Aubameyang's pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think we'll sit a bit further back tonight.
Well, obviously, talking about tonight, may have already been played when some people listen to it. But obviously, the game against Arsenal in a few hours' time. Top of the table, only 2 teams.
Hey, isn't that great? It's a top of the table clash between 2 big European clubs that have 6 times between them.
What did I see yesterday? Whatever it is, the team that hasn't won a Champions League, and the other one hasn't won a Premier League.
But look, beautiful top of the table clash. I think it's interesting. Arsenal, again, we spoke about a few weeks ago, deadline day. We're talking about Arsenal's sign Pepe, made the moves there. their front three
Yep.
doesn't.
Yeah.
You guys there? Can you hear me?
It just dropped.
Oh, dropping out.
You went a bit pear-shaped there.
Yeah,
I went pear-shaped. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll hold the mic back to my mouth.
I got a mic. Holy
Hey,
look at
it's just my headphones, mate. It's all good. I'm not that fancy.
Hey,
you got to be careful, guys, because I might get a call up to fill in on Monday Night Football with Cara and Neville. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful. No, but I think with Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, again, it is a very similar front three to what we have. Lots of pace, a great counter-attacking team. And whether Arsenal are sort of changing their style, especially now, Emery's had the ability to bring in the players he's wanted, and sort of create the team he's wanted. It'll be interesting to see what.
I haven't seen Pepe play. Is he good? Is he that
good? He's good in the French league. Look, he's a start.
He came on last week, and apparently he was pretty good.
Yeah, look, he's skillful. He's dangerous. He's a young African player with speed who can score a goal, and he's just got confidence. He's got a sort of an unchecked confidence.
Where does he play?
On the wing.
Yeah, on the right.
Yeah, right. On the right, he would do. Yeah, because okay.
Aubameyang on the left.
Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette down the centre.
Yeah,
I think the biggest question is where. Look, Ceballos will be an interesting addition if he plays because he's very technical on the ball, and I think Fabinho's got to stick to him.
Yeah.
Because he's very good with his feet, sticks to him like glue. It'll be interesting the backline he plays.
I was gonna segue into that.
That's their weakness.
Yeah,
that's their weakness.
That's the weakness.
In saying that though, I really like watching Maitland-Niles play. I think he's a quality young bloke. I was just about to say that. I agree.
On paper, they're all good, but they have
him versus Mane.
They have Ricks. They have Ricks. Yeah, exactly right. They have Ricks in them.
Yeah.
Who's their backline? Maitland-Niles.
Yeah. Then you got
Socrates will play.
Socrates. Yeah.
He'll play. And,
Louise will probably get a go.
Louise will probably play, and I think
David Luiz.
Monreal will play.
See, David Luiz, he's good going forward. He can put a good pass in, but he's got a wreck in him as well. So
yeah.
Defensively, they're weak, but going forward, they're an absolute power. I don't disagree.
Everything I think goes through Xhaka. Or whatever you want to say.
Well, Xhaka hasn't really played, so I guess against Burnley. Look, they had Leno in goals. Look, I think Leno's a pretty quality keeper. Prone to a few errors, but when he signed for Arsenal, and I think he signed before we signed Alisson, I thought that was a miss. Because I actually wanted him back then.
I'd never heard of him until they bought him.
He played for Leverkusen in Germany, and I think he was a backup goalkeeper in the national team and things like that. Yeah. And he was sort of seen as the heir to the throne of the German goalkeeper jersey.
Yeah, right.
They played with Maitland-Niles, quick player, played pretty good. Socrates. Great, has his defensive weaknesses. Played in Klopp's in Dortmund team, things like that. David Luiz, on his day, can be great and hard to get past, but
he always has a good game against us.
Yeah, that's true. But he's also prone to lapses of concentration. Monreal, he's just solid. Doesn't make too many errors. He's probably I call him a quiet player. He doesn't do anything exceptional, but he's sort of like your James Milner, if you know what I mean. Sort of just does everything and just goes about his job and gets it done. They had Ceballos and I can't even pronounce this guy's name, Matteo Guendouzi.
Guendouzi.
Yeah, David Luiz's doppelganger.
Yeah.
He played as well, and then in front of that, Reece Nelson, Wilcock, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. I think that will change slightly. I think we'll see Pepe start. I think this is the sort of game you kind of throw him to the wolves, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And sort of see if he sinks or swims. I think Lucas Torreira starts. And I think maybe Mkhitaryan starts. starts as that player that plays instead of Wilcock. So? Instead of Wilcock, I think he plays as that number 10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay. It'll be him or it'll be Ferreira playing. I think one of those. And it will be interesting to see if Kolasinac plays instead of Moreno. Because Kolasinac's got a little bit of grit about him and will give Mo a little bit of a hard kick. He'll rougher on that side. So that may be another thing. And I think our squad probably remains pretty. I think we've got Adrian in goals. I think our wing backs stay the same. Van Dijk plays. I think Matip plays unless they go Gomez just for the pace thing.
I think they'll go Gomez.
Yeah, I just think Gomez hasn't been up to scratch this season.
Yeah, but it's better. Oh, I don't know.
It depends.
It's going to be tough.
I think
it's a tough
pace-wise, pace-wise, I think he played well against Chelsea.
Right-hand side, I don't think he did. I think he did okay. He did his job, but it just felt it was.
I think pace-wise, I think because look, Trent.
But see, we've seen Matip put the afterburners on and catch people for pace. So I think if
Matip puts the afterburners on to go forward and to go on a lung buster to score a goal, then loses the ball, and then he's got to get back.
And he's got to get back.
And he'll get
one day he'll score, and oh God, you know what? I can't wait for that day. But I do think Gomez will start tonight.
Yeah,
that's
the only question
his
mark
recovery
for me.
pace. That's it.
That's the only question mark. Is who plays in that centre back role, and then the midfield's probably going to be Fabinho, Henderson, and it's going to be Ronaldo, unless he gives James Milner a shout, just because he just doesn't stop working. That's the only thing. Whereas Ronaldo tends to fade a little sometimes, and we've seen it in the past.
Yeah, but he could put Naldum on, just run him ragged. And then bring hopefully, if we're leading or we need a result, then bring Milner on.
Milner. The other thing is he could go completely left to centre and play some Ox.
Lallana, Ox.
It's Ox playing against his former club, scoring the win.
Yes.
How would that feel? And then the front three remains unchanged. Salah, Mane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's not changing.
Mane's up to speed now.
I think, as I said, obviously it's going to be an interesting game. I think in my head, Arsenal have got too many decent, I won't say key players, but decent players out. I think Ozil's doubtful.
Ozil's, I think.
I'm pretty sure he's crook or something like that. They were saying, supposedly.
Did you guys hear about how the carjacking?
Yeah.
Did you hear the full story about that?
Oh, only bits and pieces.
So basically, it turned into some sort of game fair long story. I get Ozil's house got and so did Kolas's house.
Jesus.
They may be like exit door. So
we lost you there, mate.
And I think they may be heading for the exit door.
Ozil definitely
and Ozil's always been a big question mark for Arsenal, especially last year. It was sort of like, is the Ozil Arsenal done? But then it's where does he go? But that's a question left for another podcast.
Not
that's
our
right.
problem. Don't give a shit where he goes. Go to Everton for all I care. Look, as I said, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. This week, obviously, we'll get your guys' predictions of the game.
I will.
2-1.
Another one.
2-1.
Another one.
2-1 Liverpool.
I'm going 4-1 Liverpool.
Oof.
And that's the thing. It's either gonna. I think it's either gonna be either gonna be a tight affair.
It'll depend. If we score early, if we can score in the first 10-15, then I think it'll be 4-1.
I think
because
I'm going to go, and this is all depending on the VAR. If it stays quiet and they keep their mouth shut and they can go 90 minutes without making a scene, I reckon it'll be probably 3-0.
Yeah.
But if they...
What way?
Liverpool will
Okay.
win. Liverpool will win 3-0. I don't think... I seriously think it's about time that we stepped up and really showed our class, and I think we need to do it against a big club.
This is the statement game. This is the statement game for our league.
We've played 2 games. We've played 2 games against lower opposition where it's right, guys. Let's just get through this without injuries. Nothing silly. You know what I mean?
And we've thrown the rust off. Yeah, I could see where you're coming from.
It's where I think this is the one where it's guys. We need 3 points, yes, but we need to show teams like City, especially when they've dropped points already, that this time round it's not going to be this time round it's going to be no different. You know what I mean? Last year was no joke.
Yeah.
We want that title, and we're going to do everything we can this time to not make the mistakes.
That's right.
Little mistakes that we did last year that cost us.
Yeah.
But
last year we handled Arsenal differently. I just think it may be a different Arsenal team.
5-1, I think it was last year, wasn't it? One of the games we played. So.
Arsenal are a different team this year. So shouldn't take them too lightly, but I still think
they'll still finish fourth.
That's right. They're prone to defensive issues and things like that. So that's going to be the key thing. If we sort our defence out, we keep it tight at the back as we normally do.
Yep.
As at least we did last season. And we play with no fear, press high, press hard. We can cause mistakes. Ceballos, if he starts, I think he'll be the tricky one because he keeps the ball very well and he can get through tight spaces. And in a high press situation, if he can get past you, well, then we got a bit of an issue. But again, they're minor things that the players will be.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Obviously, Steve, the game's obviously a 2:30 one, so I'm guessing Wests for all the New South Wales.
Yeah, look, for all the New South Wales guys, we scheduled an event because it just wasn't. It's just too early that I don't think many of the committee members can get to, so it wasn't one to promote too much. But anyone listening that wants to go, I suggest go to Wests or stay in and buy Optus Sport. The time's not favourable, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, fair enough then. No worries. Just a quick one before we go, Ray. I'm just bringing this one up because I'm just in case you want to change your prediction from I believe it was last week. Now where you said Pookie, if he scores 12 goals, he's had a good season. Now I think
How many has he scored now? 2 or 3?
He scored 4.
Oh no, he's more than that. He scored a hat-trick last week. And
I put him in my fantasy team.
How's he doing? He's your top player.
He's based on his 3 last week against Newcastle, and Newcastle are shite. But
poor Newcastle.
I still don't think. Yeah, no. I still.
No.
Did I say he'd score more than 12 or 12?
You said if he scored 12, that's it'd be a good.
Season. Yeah.
Because obviously he scored 20 or 28 or something in the championship, which is a completely different.
I still, he's on course for doing 12.
Yeah,
in the next 3 weeks.
four after 2 games.
Look, talk to me next week and I'll reevaluate. But
we'll see how he goes this week.
For everyone out there who hasn't got him in their fantasy team, I suggest you jump on it because
I just bought him. He'll score none.
He'll score none this week. Yeah.
You know who I'll replace him with? 4, sorry.
4, yeah.
Who?
That Moisey Kane for Everton, who's done nothing.
I knew he'd do nothing.
And said
he's lofty
he's going to do 7.
That's right. He had lofty ambitions of 7 goals.
He scored 7 goals for the season. So anyway, he's gone. And now I've got Pookie, who's on 4. He scored. When's he plays at 9:30?
Yeah, something like that. I think.
He's playing
the lineups just came out.
I think it's another game. Right. So as long as he stays injury free, he knows that him alone, I think, will possibly keep Norwich up.
Yeah, he will.
What's the table looking like now? Here's your top 4: Liverpool first, Arsenal.
Yeah, I know.
United 4th, Brighton 5th, Spurs 6th.
Who's third?
City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
City on 4 points because I got the highest goal difference.
Yeah. Let's leave it there. That'll do.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm happy if the table ends like this.
Yeah,
let's call it.
That's it. Wrap it up. Season 2020, Mbappe early.
Yes.
Nah, too easy, guys. Well, thanks again for joining me tonight, Steve. Thanks, mate.
No, thanks for having us. Follow us on our social at LFC Newcastle Oz on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Keep up to date with all the games and all this other exciting stuff we got coming up in the Newcastle region.
Yep.
We got our membership cards. We picked them up last week, so official membership packs will be rolled out shortly.
If you aren't a member, get on it.
Get on it.
Extra $5 of that goes to a good cause as well, I believe. So jump on that. Ray, mate, thanks for giving up a little bit of your birthday to be here with us.
Hey, mate, I'll give up anything for you guys. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
Very,
mate.
very good. And obviously, just before I do go as well, I was also going to add in there, if everyone out there hasn't listened to the Matty Johns and Craig Johnson interview, go and have a listen to it. It was an absolute cracker.
Yeah,
absolute legend of a bloke, and for obviously all the younger guys out there who are probably still got their football career ahead of them. I'm not ourselves. It's a very good insight to obviously what shit and what crap he had to put up with and go through, and to get where he did, and very, very smart, intelligent man.
I was listening to that today, and I'm not quite fully through it because it's a couple hours, but it's 2 hours well worth a listen.
Absolutely, it just gets better and better.
What an absolutely amazing man, and what an absolutely amazing story that he went through, and nothing got in his way, and I tell you, it's well worth a listen. Yeah, I don't read books, but anyway, he's
What we'll do is if none of you, even Ben and so forth, and Julian, if you haven't seen it yet, jump on, have a look, listen to it. We might have a little bit of dissect next week into it, because there's just so much information and so much stuff in there that I didn't even know. The whole the whole Predator story. I had no idea that he was the man behind that.
I knew he was behind that, but
they had no idea that he was the kingpin behind that, and the way he went about it and to get it up and running was just is an amazing feat. So anyway, guys, we'll leave that till next week. Thanks again, everybody. Make sure you jump on and subscribe, tick the notification bell, and obviously check out all the other episodes that we've done so far. And we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks again.
Beautiful.
Cheers.